invite in some different elements as we see what's going on. All right, so I'd like to begin and kneeling right in front of the CoreAlign. And we're gonna just take a moment seated on our heels with our spine floating like a living plant or vine growing upward in a very sort of intuitive, intrinsic way, just happening kind of as on its own without our needing to modify or control. We're going to take a few breaths, maybe let our eyes close and feel into the length of your torso, from the top to the bottom, and all the space in between, the front and the back, and the sides, and sense yourself as this three-dimensional being that surrounds that central spine, that central channel. Let the shoulders fall into gravity. And then we're just going to float the eyes open and take our hands to our hearts. As usual, if you'd like to use the close edge for a little extra sort of contact and feel the hands, be my guest. And we'll start with a sort of tilt through that long, living spine. And then simply slide the hearts forward. Let the front of your body come forward to meet your thighs. And let that just kind of happen like a tree in slow motion, laying down. And we're just going to stay in that little position and take a few more breaths. Let your inhale be long and smooth. And your exhale, similarly long and smooth. Letting the spine now feel a little bit curved over your thighs. The tail draped down towards the ground, and the head falling downward as well. And the mid-spine rising with each breath. And then we'll inhale and let the hearts come back in. And we're going to keep the head heavy and let the shoulders get pushed back, the ribs get pushed back. And we're going to round our way back in. And then lengthen, grow out through the top of the head. And again, let the front of your body move towards your thighs. So there's this sort of rolling through the spine, lowering down, and resting into that low position. Your ribs get to rest on your thighs. Your hips rest on your heels. Your head rests into gravity. And then the arms stay a little more alive and active to support that heart position. We're going to inhale, push the hearts away so the shoulders will move up by the ears and the sides of the body will lengthen. And then let the hearts push back to soften around the neck and ears. Again, push, inhale, exhale, soften. And again, you can be at any altitude here. If your arms don't feel comfortable, straight overhead, let your position come a little bit back so that you're really comfortable through the shoulders. And then do one shoulder at a time, right, left, moving in an oscillation, one forward and one back, letting the shoulder blades kind of move away from one another in this opposite diagonal kind of way. Shrugging and feeling some movement around the shoulder blade rib cage connection. There's lots of muscle and soft tissue layered between them, and it all gets to move and stretch here. And then pause with both arms away, and then let the hearts push back through the shoulders, the ribs, and we'll round our way back in. And then we're going to take that into something a little bit more fluid and continuous. So we're going to take the front body forward and let that lay us down on our thighs. Let the hearts push back and roll us in. And again, rolling forward and back. You can interpret this however feels good, however your body believes this is what it's meant to do. And when you're up next, lengthen and pause and slide the hearts forward about, I don't know, maybe 6 to 8 inches, something that feels halfway-ish. The arms are going to come out from the torso at a rightish angle. And then we're gonna do some scapular glides in that position. So it's a lot more of a protract and a retract for the shoulder blades. And feel into both. Retract should get real squishy between the shoulder blades. Doesn't have to get pinchy though. And then protract should feel sort of around the low ribs, around the armpit area, sort of wrapping under the arms from back to front, this snug hug of toned energy. And it should go peaceful through the front of the shoulder and chest. And now, one and then the other again, right, left. We're not twisting the rib cage yet. We're not twisting the spine. We're feeling our shoulder blades move around the rib cage. And then we can go ahead and increase the range through the carts and let that turn into rotation. And I'm moving a little faster than you want to. And that is something I fully love you to sort of just tune into, listen to, move with the pace that your body feels really happy to move. And sometimes it's nice to say, hey, you'd like to go fast, maybe slow it down today, just a little. And then the other is opposite of that is true too. Patients find a little more playful, joyful speed in some. All right, let's bring it back to center and maybe round it back in. And now we're going to turn to one side and go into a mermaid stretch. So I'd like to do seated up on the little stable platform. We're going to do the right side seated on the CoreAlign first. If you need to, please the other direction. That's fine. We'll just swap out that language. So we're going to place our right hand on the cart that's further to the right, and then take the left arm out to the side and side bend. Just go out and come back in 3 or 4 times before I layer in any more information. Notice how that feels in your shoulder and your side body. Good. And then one more. Oh, yeah, that feels so nice. And then pause, coming all the way in. I want to bring us down onto the mat now. We're just going to compare our experiences a little bit. We'll have a little bit more of a traditional V-sit. Your hips are in a little bit more external and internal rotation here. And then stretch through our spine might feel different too. So we're going to side bend and flow back in. And I'm not doing both to compare and pick one as the better of the two. It's more just a way of giving our bodies lots of different experiences. So now what I'd like to do is bring the top or the outer arm up and over, and we're going to find both carts with both hands. So you're going to take your left hand to the free cart. That's going to turn your heart to the CoreAlign already. And then we're going to just enhance that with a little bit of movement. Let's round the spine forward. And round it back again. And then like we did before, think of laying the front body out over the CoreAlign to come down, and then rounding back, letting the cart push the shoulders and the ribs back. Lay your body out and round it back again. And reach and return one more time. And then we're going to go about halfway again. So really similar to where we were just a moment ago, facing the CoreAlign. And then we're going to do these little scapular glides, protract and retract. So one's going to turn us away from the CoreAlign in the direction our hips are facing, and that's going to find it's going to be quite lovely and easy. And then the other one is going to go deeper into the twist. Can also be super lovely, but a lot more sort of juicy, and ask us to move in directions that sort of we'll have to grow into. And then let's take the carts level and then roll out. Level is a sort of direction, not a destination. You're moving in that direction. And we'll come all the way up. Bring the right hand or the free hand back out. We're gonna come now into a side tilt. So you're gonna take the cart away as you lengthen the outer leg out, and you can take your top arm overhead, and then we'll come back in. So this tilt version, the shoulder movement is the same, but we're just gonna sort of hover the spine out and over to the right. Let's do that again, and we're gonna hold. Stay here and lower and lift that straight leg. See if it can come back just a wee bit. We're gonna go for 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Bend the knee, come all the way in. Let's move on to the other side. So if you've done as I have, take that patty out of the way, we can reset it. We'll come up to the high position. Enjoy what that position has to offer. Starting with the hand on the back part, outer hand free, flowing up and over and in. And again, just enjoy this opportunity to flow. This beautiful side bend, creating space. Do that side body, you've got QL, you've got lats, you've got all the muscles between the ribs stretching. All that right side. Maybe one more. And then all the way back in. We're going to come down now to the floor level. Reset. And then set up, again, left hand on the back part and slide out. And again, just notice what you notice. Still side bending here, keeping that outer hip heavy. And thoughtful of the shoulders. One more like that. And then pause at the top. Turn now, bring your outer hand to the cart that is available, and we'll slide the front body forward and lay it out over the CoreAlign. Then let the cart push back, sending your ribs back. And again, lay yourself out. And round it back in. Low. And breathe. One more. And then slide out about halfway and start to twist. Right, left, one cart moving further away, the other coming in, going with the grain, going against. And just asking for a little extra juicing of these layers of muscle that wrap and support and offer that living animated movement to our structure, to our spine, to our whole body. And we're going to just do that 2, maybe 3 more times, letting it get gooier and warmer. And then we'll bring it all the way to that level place, all the way out, and we'll round it back in. Okay, back to that start position. We're going into the side tilt. I've moved myself away for this, and I'm taking that stable platform pad off just because I often run into it and move it around anyway. So tilt and stretch that leg out long, and then tilt and glide back. Reaching out, hovering, and landing home. Find that length to that straight leg, and bring it in. And again, this time stay, and lower and lift. See if that standing arm can come back and sort of soften around the neck and ear. And 3, 2, 1, bend the knee. Come all the way in. Let's turn to the CoreAlign once again. and bring the padding back to our table platform. And then we're going to take our knees there. We're going to take our right foot forward and then set it on that right cart with the cart moving out to create that sort of box frame under the right leg. So we're in a 90-90 lunge on our knee, right, on our left knee. So we'll drop the right sit bone just to settle into a level position. And then we're going to play with toggling that left thigh from the hip, so a little bit of movement of the pelvis forward and back of the knee. We'll stay right above and travel forward. We won't go behind right now. And mindful of your sacrum, keeping it neutral so the tail stays long and straight down towards the center of the earth, and the whole sacrum comes forward without tilting. It feels good and stretchy on that left hip. And then the next time we're there and stretch, pause, take the left arm up to the sky and side bend. And then come back up, bring both arms to the sky, bring your hands now to the back of the head, interlace your fingers. Stay here in the stretch, and we're going to twist to the right and center. And turning your whole entire rib cage and bringing one shoulder back while the other spins forward. Protract and retract. One more time. And center and bring it home. Release the hands and help yourself down. Right knee coming back, left foot coming forward. We level, we find that 90-90, and then we rise through the spine, and then sacrum forward. Whole pelvis forward. Femur drawn back, and forward again. Big stretch to the front of that hip and thigh. Good place to practice this feeling of our 90-90. Not so much that maximum stretch position, but that stretch position that still exists with the knee straight down from the hip. And then stretch out again. Find that place that feels maximum stretch. And then we reach the right arm up and over to the left we go. And then circle the hand back. Bring both arms to the sky, hands behind the head. Still in the stretch, swivel to the left. Bring your protract on the right, retract on the left, and center. And again, finding both. And center, and spin. And center, one more time. And center, release the hands, come all the way back in. Let's climb back to both knees on the cart. Place the hands on the carts and bring them out into your all fours position. Here we're going to take our shoulders and just reorient. Sternum drops here, or more of that scapular glide, protract and retract. And then protract and hold. And then we're going to let the carts come a little bit forward. And then we're going to bend the elbows without letting our shoulder blades do a lot of retract. And then press back up to straight. And bend, so let the torso tilt. So the front body moves towards the thighs. The front of the hips fold. And one more. And then lengthen. Now we're going to move into a cat stretch. Take your cat, nice and curvy, and then round a little more deeply as the carts come in. Inhale the carts forward, the heart forward, and repeat. Exhale, curl. Let the carts come nice and close into the bumpers. Heart forward, carts forward. Lengthening that spine. Remembering your first few moments, just tuning into your spine, that living length of life through the center of your body. Feeling it now. Not separate, like you have to sort of be physically sort of able to distinguish your spine separate from anything else. But just the center of your body, this length of your being, that is at your center, kind of feeling there's fluid movement there and strength. All right, let's add to this our tricep dip. So we're going to round and pause. We're gonna bend the elbows, start to send the heart forward, carts forward, press the arms to straight, and then round back in. Again, bend the elbows now with that flexed spine. Now with the heart gliding forward, now the arm lengthening, and then now rounding back in. It's circular. Find that circle and then flow through it and enjoy what you can of all of those little morsels of movement. The tricep thrust, the back bend, the arm stretch, the spine stretch. We'll push up out here. Let's do one more. All the way in. And then let's roll up to high kneeling. We're gonna just come up to standing from here and move our cart before we're done. So I like the 2 each on one cart, and then we're just gonna move the other cart into the same track. This is gonna be work for your inner thighs, and so some might be better off with 1 peach on each cart. If this is the first time you're doing this exercise, let's go with that, and then add up. If you feel strain, come down. It's not likely you'll feel strain, but if we're pushing our bodies beyond where they're at, then it will go in that direction. So what we're gonna do next is find ourselves between the 2 parts and pull them together. And then walk the knees onto. Line up the knees towards the inner edge. Line up the carts, so they're centered around the center of the CoreAlign and that center bolt. Place your hands in equal distance from that center position as well, and then find your spine nice and long. We'll start with the inner thighs open and close with a neutral spine, or that spine that doesn't have a cat or a cow living in it. We're just this all fours human. Stay with that. Let your breath become your guide and give you your pace. Yeah. And give you the awareness of your core on each exhale as you empty. Feeling the inner body. Feel a little hug. And last one, pause. Keep the carts together and take your hips. First, let's take your toes back to the floor beneath, and then take your hands off the CoreAlign and take your hips back to your heels. Keep the carts together. From here, we're going to lift up and sit back. You don't have to rest back, but you're gonna lower and rise. And much like we did in our little 90-90 lunge prep, think about bringing the sacrum forward and creating that openness to the front of the hips. Stretch down the front of the thighs. Not maybe as potent as some of the other ones you know, but lengthening nonetheless. When you come forward next, stay, sacrum forward, lift your toes and begin to move again. Open and together. And we're going to do 3 more like that. Really feeling into those inner thighs. 2, And 1, press the sacrum forward, draw the carts together and hold. Take the arms up to the sky, exhale, reach forward, roll forward. You're gonna bring your hands to the core line again, but use your inner thighs and glutes to slow that down. Once your hands land, you're gonna stay rounded and take the carts out and in. And last 2, and 1, hold. Keep the toes up if you can, and float the hands. Keep the carts together, roll back up. Reach the arms to the sky. Take your hands to the back of your head, and we swivel to the left and center, to the right and center, and find your protract and your retract. And again, and center, 1 more each side. And last 1. And take your arms up to the sky, round forward, keep those carts together, and land. Lengthen out, flat back again, and open, stretch, breathe. And then pull back together, find your core snug, and then we're gonna take the left hand and reach it up to the sky. Turning left, thread the needle, turning right. And again, 2 more times like that. Lifting up, twisting under. We'll do it again once more. And we're doing our best to keep the carts together. Finish with a lift. And then circle the hand back to the core line. Right hand up. Twist and thread. And reach. And 1 more. Here my carts. Bouncing around a bit. Last time lift and circle to the core line. Now, toes down, hands to carts, carts to their own bumpers. Then we'll move everything to the ladder end. Let's do 1 move on each cart at the ladder end. And that's should be good, but if you'd like more, you can go up or down to get a sense of what we're doing. So we'll come up, we'll make our way to standing on the carts, but I do invite you to put a prop there between your inner thighs. So we'll go into standing with prop, facing ladder. And let's just do hands on ladder at shoulder height-ish. We're gonna take our statue, just press out and in, and do that maybe 3 or 4 times. On the last one, just wherever you're at, the one you're on, straighten arms and hold. See if we can get the carts to slide back a little bit, find a tilt, a moderate one, and bring your rib cage and pelvis into focus. So the lampshade of your rib cage is shining straight down to your pelvis. The bowl of your pelvis is the opening shining straight up to your rib cage. So we're not arched here. We're really oriented in that way. And then stay in that orientation while you also simultaneously glide that alignment into a more vertical place. Getting more active as you come into that upright alignment, your forward, even more clear, and then bend the elbows slowly and press back up. Refining that alignment, supporting it with that strong core support. It's really core and a lot of other muscles by different names as well, but still core of the your center, your muscles closest to the spine. And then let's press out. Hold, take your hands closer together on the ladder, and then push with the right hand, push with the right shoulder. It's a protract. Left arm slides out behind you, it's a retract. And then bring it back to the ladder. I'm doing sort of a telescope arms, like a mat sort of move here. You could swing the arm wide as well, but it's kind of nice to feel through your center a little bit. Push. And reach, find the protract, find the retract. And one more each side. So surprising how strong a glute can feel in some moves. Bringing it in, construct the hands down wherever you're comfortable for hooking. And we're gonna do that now. Take a little center of gravity shift back into the heels. Find that alignment and the core support you've just been bringing to life. And take foot into motion. Healing through the feet. Good, and let's do the next one as hoof flexion. So we're gonna hoof, and we're also going to flex the lumbar spine specifically, bring that long monkey tail under and swing it towards the ladder. Let the upper body just kind of arc over and rise up. Wipe the mud off the bottom of that shoe. Use that to help you get a little more drag on your left hip bone to bring it down and swing that long monkey tail under. And then rise back up. There's a little drift away from the ladder, a little soft bend to the elbows. And finishing so you're even to both sides. And then pause, bring your hands back up to shoulder height. And we're gonna try our double hoof. So we're gonna be pushing out the ladder simultaneously, hoofing and bending the elbows to come in. And we really need that core support to keep our back from arching and our hips from folding. So think 90-90 through that hip. We did that stretch early on to keep that thigh straight down from our hips. And we're trying to glide straight back at the same height, not bobbing up and down. Working a lot, yes. And bring it in. And then maybe hands down a rung. We're gonna go into hoof, double hoof flexion. So we're gonna hoof and curl and bring it back. And back in. Thanks, you guys. One more. And then bring it in and land. Find your tall self and just hoof and swap and swap. Try to take the bobbing up and down out of it. Try to lighten the effort in your upper body. And bring it all the way in and finish there. We'll take the ball and drop it out of the way. And since we've prepped so well for it, we're going to go into our 90-90. We'll start on the left side, up and lower down. Finding that stretch without going into that extension. Bring it up. You still use your hip extensors just to hold that leg in a strong connection right down from that hip. And again. Do left side again and add in the twist. Right arm up, protract, retract. And all the way in. Left arm, protract, retract. Bring it home. Feeling strong, feeling twisty, juicy, warm. One more each side. And then. And rest. Ooh. Hands can stay at hip height. We'll take a tabletop, tilting forward, the front body tilting towards the thighs, but not sagging, just tilting. Feel that trunk support towards the pelvis, wrapped in strong layers of support. Walk 1 foot forward, swap. Keep the hips level to begin with. Your range could be a lot smaller, depending on that hamstring flexibility. If it's feeling too tight, and it's pulling you out of your neutral, shorten it up a little bit. Then here, I'm going to liberate you. We're going to go forward and twist. Let the hips twist. So that right foot forward is going to pull the right hip down. Left hip back. And switch. And it's going to pull that left hip down, right hip back. And it gets a little bit more sort of sexy and sultry as we twist. As best you can, keep your heart centered. Sort of down, consider the CoreAlign and ladder. Then bring the feet level. And let's roll it up to standing. I'm going to turn us away from the ladder and bring the hands to the vertical parts of the ladder. Move my handles out of the way. We're going to place our feet in parallel, hands with fingertips long. You can do the sides of the hand with the palms, however you feel best. And we're going to slide the parts forward and move into the squat and right back up. So stand to squat. And again, feel the back of the arms up together. Feel the hips fold, the front body folding towards the thighs and the hips folding towards the heels. So it's mutual. You can maybe get a little lower that way. The front of the shins folding towards the top of the foot. And one more. Moving out. Fold and a little shuffle. Waking up more for that heat in the legs. And then bring yourself all the way to standing. And we're going to step all the way down. Let's take our feet into a wide stance. Bring our hands to our hips. We'll glide the hips side to side. Yeah. And then circle. And reverse. And then bring yourself center. Step the feet in just a little bit more underneath you. And then take the arms up to the sky in a big circle. Feeling the arms kind of like strong wings flying through the air. And give them all the power that they would need to lift you off the ground. As if you were just going to launch right into flight. And then lift them up one more time. And let it all soften so you can rest on the ground. Okay. Finish there.